Hi, I'm Brandon Roten, lead instructor with Advanced Shooting. What I'm going to show you today is grip. When we pick up a standard semi-auto pistol like this right here, first of all we got to remember our safety rules. Safe direction, finger off the trigger, point it in a safe direction. Here at the range I'm pointing it down range during this entire demonstration. So we go to grab this gun, first thing we do is take the V of our hand, that's between the thumb and the forefinger, and you dig your hand deep up into the back of the gun. This is called the beaver tail, or the back of the grip. You dig that thumb and forefinger deep into the back, 3 fingers besides the trigger finger underneath the trigger guard. Now notice that my trigger finger did not go underneath the trigger guard. That's very much by design. We do not want your trigger finger underneath the trigger guard. The reason is, number one, you aren't putting your finger straight, telling everyone that you're not putting your finger on the trigger. And number two, you're actually leaving empty space when you do move that trigger finger up. So let's get all 3 fingers underneath that trigger guard. So now that I have the V of my hand deep into the back, the 3 fingers besides my trigger finger underneath the trigger guard, my trigger finger straight, next thing we got to look at is the other side of the gun. I'm going to hold it upside down here so I can keep pointing it down range. What you see is my thumb is pointing down range. On this Springfield XD, there's a groove built into this gun specifically for that. So V of my hand into the gun, 3 fingers under the trigger guard, trigger finger straight. The thumb on my strong hand is pointing down range. So that's my strong hand grip. Now let's work on the weak hand. Weak hand's the biggest thing people tend to have problems with. I see a lot of people, I'm going to shut this gun, this is unloaded right now. A lot of people actually put their hands back on the wrist, or they're going to put their hand cupping underneath the gun. That actually doesn't do anything to aid in the firing of the pistol. So what we actually want to do is take your weak hand and take the meat of your palm and put it against the open part of the grip. So this open part of the grip is actually where the meat of your palm goes, and then the 4 fingers of your weak hand go underneath the trigger guard. Now you can see as I'm holding this gun, I am swallowing the gun with my hands. That's very much by design. I'm trying to cover as much of the gun as I can with my hands. The more I have grip on the gun, the better control I'm going to have over the recoil, which means I'm going to shoot the gun better. So swallow that gun, point both thumbs down range. Notice how far up my weak hand is on this gun. If we do this, where the thumb's around the back, you get what's called Glock hand. We have 2 nice little tracks go right over your thumb. You're going to need a band-aid or maybe some stitches for that. So let's keep our thumbs on the same side. So let's go over the grip one more time. V of your hand deep into the back, 3 fingers underneath the trigger guard. Trigger finger goes straight. Weak hand, palm goes against the open part of the grip, all 4 fingers underneath, both thumbs pointing down range. I don't care if you're a righty or a lefty, the grip is exactly the same. When we're squeezing the gun, we want to use the weak hand to actually control the gun. The strong hand is using the trigger and using all the buttons. So we want to keep the strong hand loose and kind of weak. We want to keep the weak hand strong on the gun, actually controlling everything. For more information, visit advancedshooting.com to sign up for one of our classes and learn this stuff in person.